Hello students, welcome back to my channel. In today's class, you will learn passing the journal entries and posting the entries in ledger account. So we'll see the problem. Journalize the following transactions of Neha Fashion House and post the entries in ledger. So certain transactions they have given. All these transactions we have to pass in the journal book, and after passing the journal entries, these all entries will be posted to ledger accounts. So we'll see the first transaction. June 5th, business started with cash rupees 2 lakh. On 5th June, business started with cash of rupees 2 lakh. This first transaction, we have to prepare two accounts. One is cash account and another is capital account. Correct? So whatever the amount invested by the owner to start the business, that amount, that cash is called capital. So in this first transaction, we have to prepare two accounts, cash account and capital account. Cash is a asset. Started business with cash means the cash balance will increase, and increase in assets or increase in cash balance is to be debited. So cash account is to be debited, and the second one is capital account. So what is the rule for capital? Increase in capital is to be credited and decrease in capital is to be debited. Started business with cash means the capital value will increase. So we have to credit capital account. So in this first transaction, we have to debit cash account for increase in the cash balance, and we have to credit capital account for increase in capital. So we'll pass the journal entry. First write the heading Journal Entries in the Books of Neha Fashion House. And the columns are date, particulars, LF, that is ledger folio, debit, credit. So we'll write the date here, 2017, June 5th. So the entry is cash account debited to capital account. So the account which is debited we have to take first, and the account which is credited we have to write in next line with the prefix word to. Cash account debtor to capital account. And after passing the entry, you have to write the narration. And the narration is being started business with cash. Amount is 2 lakh. Cash account is debited. So in debit column write 2 lakh. Capital account is credited. So we have to write the amount in credit column, that is 2 lakh. Here first transaction is over. On June 8, opened a bank account with ICICI rupees 80,000. So in this transaction, we have to prepare bank account and another is cash account. Deposited money in the bank account or opened a bank account means the bank balance will increase, and cash at bank and cash in hand both are asset, and as per the rule of asset, that is rule of debit and credit, increase in assets is to be debited and decrease in assets is to be credited. Opened a bank account means the bank balance will increase. So we have to debit bank account, and on the other hand we have to credit which account? Cash account, because the cash balance will decrease by rupees 80,000. So first ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಫಾರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ? ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ we have to debit bank account and we have to credit cash account. So the entry is, write the date June 8, bank account debtor to cash account, and the narration being opened a bank account amount 80,000. On June 12, purchased machines and paid by check. Purchased machinery or machine is a fixed asset. So when you purchase any kind of fixed assets, you have to take the particular name of that asset. So in this transaction, we have to prepare machine account. This machine is purchased by paying the check. When you make the payment in check, then bank balance will decrease, and decrease in bank balance is to be credited. So in this transaction, first we have to prepare machinery account for purchasing the machine, and this machinery is purchased by issuing check. So we have to prepare bank account, and the bank balance is decreased by rupees 20,000. So bank account is to be credited and machine account is to be debited. So the entry is June 12, machine account debtor to bank account. Narration: being machine purchased. Amount: debit 20,000, credit 20,000. June 18, paid rent by check. Rent is a expenses. Rent paid means it is a expenses of the business. So rule of expenses is increase in expenses is to be debited and decrease in expenses is to be credited. Rent paid means the expenses of the business is increased. So we have to debit rent account, and this rent is paid by check. So the bank balance will decrease. So we have to credit bank account for paying the rent by check. So the entry is rent account debited to bank account. Okay, why we have to take this bank account? Because this rent is paid in check. If the rent is paid in cash, then we have to write here cash account in place of bank account. Narration: being rent paid. Amount: 5,000. On 22nd, cash sales. Cash sales means the goods are sold on cash basis, not on credit basis. Goods ಅನ್ನು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರಿಗೆ payments ಆಗಿದೆ. So here we have to prepare cash account and another is sales account. By selling the goods, goods goes out of the business and cash comes into the business. So the cash balance will increase, and increase in cash balance is to be debited. So we have to debit cash account, and another is sales account. Sales account is a revenue account. So what is the rule of debit and credit for revenue? Increase in revenue is to be credited and decrease in revenue is to be debited. Sales ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ business in a revenue ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದೆ, increase ಆಗಿದೆ. So we have to credit sales account. Got all of you? In this transaction, what we have to do? We have to debit the cash account for increasing cash, and sales account is to be credited for increase in the sales or increase in the revenue of the business. So the entry is on 22nd June, cash account debited to sales account. Amount: 15,000. Narration: being goods sold for cash. And the last entry on 30th, salary paid in cash, rupees 6,000. Salary paid to workers, it is a expenses of the business. So salary account is a expenses. By paying the salary to the workers or employees, it has increased the expenses of the business. So salary account is to be debited, and the salary is paid in cash. So the cash balance of the business is decreased by rupees 6,000. So we have to credit cash account. Salary account is to be debited for increasing in the expenses of the business, and cash account is to be credited for decrease in cash balance. So the entry on 30th June, salary account debtor to cash account. Narration being salary paid. Amount 6,000. So we have passed all the entries. Now add this debit and credit column. 2 lakh plus 80,000 plus 20,000, 5,000, 15,000, 6,000. Add these amounts and you will get the total 3,26,000. Credit side also you will get the same amount, that is 3,26,000. So we have passed the journal entries. So the first part is over. Next we have to post all these entries in ledger account. First entry is on 5th June, cash account debited to capital account. For this first transaction, we have to prepare cash account and capital account, two ledger account. Let's prepare the cash account. Account will be in the form of P. Okay, left side of the account is called debit side and right side of the account is called credit side. And here you have to write the heading of the ledger account. So in this first entry, we have to prepare cash account. So I have written here heading cash account. Okay, in the center, you have to write the name of that particular account. And right side of the account is called credit side. That is abbreviation of credit is CR. And left side of the account is called debit side. And the abbreviation for debit is DR. Okay, all these things I have explained to you. If you want detailed notes on ledger account, please refer my previous videos. Cash account, debit side and credit side. We'll see the columns. Date, particulars, JF. JF means journal folio. In journal entries, in journal book, we write LF, that is ledger folio. When we are preparing ledger accounts, we prepare JF column, that is journal folio column. So here, if they have mentioned in the problem, the journal folio number that we have to write. Amount and credit side, same column, date, particulars, JF, amount. Clear all this column? Okay. So in this first entry, cash account and capital account we have to prepare. So first is the cash account. Cash account is debited. ಹೌದಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿನ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ we have to write the date. This first entry took place on June 5th. So write the date June 5th. So this cash account is debited against which account? Capital account. ಹೌದಲ್ಲ? So cash account ಏನಾಗಿದೆ first thing in clear ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. Cash account ಏನಾಗಿದೆ debit ಆಗಿದೆ. So debit side we have to write the entry or we have to pass the entry. So ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅದ್ರ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮುಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇದೆ that account we have to write in particular column. So cash account is debited. So in debit side we write on June 5th to capital account. And the amount is 2 lakh. Clear this first entry? Next we have to prepare capital account. See, right in the middle, capital account columns will be the same. So this capital account is credited. Correct? Capital account is credited. So we'll pass the entry in credit side. Credit side of the capital account. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ June 5th. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇದೆ cash account. So write here by cash account. Understood? Capital account is credited by cash account and the amount is 2 lakh. Cash account is debited to capital account 2 lakh and capital account is credited by cash account amount 2 lakh. So vice versa, entry pass may be. Got this first transaction? On June 8th, entries bank account debited to cash account. For the second entry, what we have to do? We have to prepare bank account and cash account we have already prepared. So write the heading bank account. Bank account ಏನಾಗಿದೆ debit ಆಗಿದೆ. So debit side we have to write on June 8th to cash account. Okay, side you have to write 2 and when you are passing the entries in credit side you have to write by. Understand? So this bank account is debited to cash account and the amount is 80,000. Cash account ಏನಾಗಿದೆ in second entry cash account is credited. So credit side of the cash account, right? See the cash account, credit side of the cash account, right? First write the date June 8 by bank account 80,000. On June 12th, entries machinery account or machine account debited to bank account. So in this entry, which account is debited? Machine account. We have to prepare machine account. So I have prepared here machine account. And this machine account is debited. So debit side right, June 12. So against which account? Machine account. ಮುಂದೆ ಯಾವುದಿದೆ? Bank account. To bank account. 20,000. Okay, you have to write 2 for debit side and for credit you have to write by. So in this third transaction, which account is credited? Bank account. So bank account we have already prepared. So bank account credit ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ credit side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು on June 12. So against which account this bank account is credited? Machine account. So write here by machine account 20,000. Understood? Bank account is credited by machine account. On June 18, rent account debtor to bank account. So we have here we have to prepare rent account and bank account we have already prepared. So let's prepare the rent account. Rent account. So rent account is debited. So the debit side right on June 18. So this rent account is debited against which account? Bank account. So write to bank account. Amount 5,000. Bank account ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಈ 4 transaction ಅಲ್ಲಿ credit ಆಗಿದೆ. So credit side right on June 18 by rent account 5,000. On June 22, cash account debtor to sales account. So here we have to prepare cash account that we have already prepared. And one more account is sales account. Cash account ಏನಾಗಿದೆ debit ಆಗಿದೆ. So debit side right. Okay, DR is the debit side. Right? June 22. So cash account ಮುಂದೆ ಯಾವುದಿದೆ account to sales account. So write to sales account 15,000 amount. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ write the heading. Sales account is credited. So credit side right June 22 by cash account. Amount 15,000. And the last entry is on June 30. Salary account debtor to cash account. Salary account we have to prepare. Cash account is there. Salary account. Salary account is debited. So debit side right on June 30th to cash account 6,000. Cash account is credited. So in cash account, write last entry June 30th by salary account 6,000. Like this, you have to post all these general entries in ledger account. For more such videos, please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you, friends.